I got ripped when I started viewing my ADHD as not a source of destruction, but as a weapon in order to get ripped. See, most guys, when they have ADHD, they think, okay, like I'm never going to be able to focus on getting lean. I'm never going to be able to get to a point where I'm able to get lean because my ADHD has me going in so many different directions. But here's the thing, your ADHD, if used properly, is going to be your biggest weapon for getting lean. So like growing up, like I had a really hard time struggling in school, right? Elementary school, middle school, high school, I could never focus. I was always trying to do 100 different things at a time. And there was a point in middle school where I was even on ADHD meds, right? Because there's this misconception that people think it's like a bad thing. Like, okay, like let me suppress my ADHD because it's hurting me. It's making my life worse. It's making it harder for me to, actually focus in school. And here's the thing, right? ADHD is like one of those things where, yes, people think it's bad, but it's also used for good because it allows you to hyper fixate. And a hyperfixation is when you focus solely and only on one thing at a time and just obsess over it every single day. And that's the same mentality that I've brought into my fitness journey, which has allowed me to get to 10% body fat. Most people think, okay, I'm gonna obsess and hyperfixate on the actual end goal of the physique that I want. Yes, you need to have a goal in mind of the physique that you're trying to accomplish, but you have to hyperfixate on the process and what it takes to get there every day. Right? I'm not constantly thinking about the physique that I want to have 6 months from now. I'm hyperfixating and constantly thinking about, okay, today is the only day that exists. Yesterday does not exist. Tomorrow does not exist yet. Right? The only thing that I can focus on is right now and what is between my 2 feet, right? My entire body right now in this present moment, that's the only thing that I can focus on. So what can I do today? What can I hyperfixate on so that 6 months from now I wake up and I have the result? And the biggest things that I've hyperfixated on, my diet, my workouts, my cardio, I hyperfixate on those things and it allows me to focus solely and only on those things so that the result is just a byproduct of that, right? ADHD is not a bad thing, right? You need to direct all your time, energy, and attention onto that one thing, which is the process of getting lean. Your meals, your cardio, your workouts, everything should be focused solely and only on that. Just the process itself of actually what it takes to build a great physique. After I stopped all those ADHD meds and after I stopped, putting myself in a position to suppress my ADHD, I was able to get ripped because I started to use it as a weapon. It's a weapon. It's a gift to have ADHD and the ability to hyperfixate and focus on something and become obsessed. You have to be obsessed with the process, right? The moment that the physique and like the image of the person you want to become is the biggest thing that's in your mind is when you'll fail, because you have to get to a place of being so content with whatever result that you get 6 months from now and obsess and enjoy and love what it actually takes to get there. Focus every single piece of attention that you have on just the meals, on just the workouts. It's obsession. You have to be obsessed. You have to be more obsessed than the guy next to you. You have to outwork yourself every single day. Yesterday, you gave 90%. Today, you're giving 91%. Tomorrow, you're giving 92%. The next day, you're giving 93%. Every single day, you should aim to give more and more and more. Aim to PR everything that you do, right? Yesterday, I ate pretty much entirely clean. Today, I'm gonna eat even more clean. I'm gonna obsess over everything that it takes for me to get my dream physique. And in no time, what you'll find is that the more that you obsess, the more that you hyperfixate, the more that you focus on what it takes every single day in order to get to that goal of being lean, you will wake up one day and you will have your dream physique. Your ADHD is not a curse. Your ADHD is not something that you were born with, and that is a curse of destruction. It is a weapon that so few people have because we as ADHD people have the ability to hyperfixate on something. So many people have ADHD and they think it's bad, but it's the best thing you could possibly imagine. The guy next to you who doesn't have it can't imagine what it's like to lock in on something and be so passionate and hyperfixated and obsessed over something with all of their might. You have to start viewing it as a weapon. And then once you start doing that, it's going to be the greatest gift that you could ever possibly imagine, because you will get to a place of being so content with the process and you'll forget about the results. You'll forget about who you're trying to become in 6 months because you'll love the process so much, and you'll wake up every day with that fire under your ass and you're going to outwork yourself every single day, and you're going to get to a place where you become the person you want to be because you locked in so much on just the day-to-day tasks. You know, I love making these raw talk videos. I love just giving so much value and exactly what's going on in my mind. Everything that I used to get lean, every single mental trick, every single thought that's going through my head is exactly what I'm trying to teach you guys. Because you can take this same way of thinking that I've developed and pour it into yourself and pour it into your fitness journey and allow it to just come to fruition. And that's the thing that so many people misunderstand is, you know, this is the mindset that it takes. You can't just get lean by kind of obsessing, kind of just like hoping you'll get lean and, you know, kind of like, you know, 50% trying some days. Maybe the next day you'll try a little bit harder, but then the next day you're like, like, who cares, right? That's the mindset of someone who will stay out of shape for the rest of their life. What you have to understand is that in order to get 100% of results, you have to be willing to give your 100% effort every single day. Now, if you want 50% of results and you don't want the full 100%, give 50% effort. But the guys who watch this video and the guys who are truly committed, and if you've made it this far in the video, it's because you want 100% of results. You didn't come on this fitness journey just to, you know, kind of get an okay physique, right? Maybe a slight ab outline and, you know, maybe some fluff in there. No, like, this is the mindset that it takes to get to 10% body fat, right? If you want to be 15, 18, 20% body fat, go watch another video, right? There's information like that everywhere. But this is truly the mindset, the obsessive hyperfixation mindset that it's going to require of you to get to 10% body fat. There's going to be days where you don't want to show up. There's going to be days where, you know, you just don't want to obsess over the process. There's going to be days where, you know, you see your buddy having a cheat meal, you go out to eat with your friends, or you go on vacation with your girl, or you know, hang out with a couple of your buddies and they're all eating junk food. They're all not focused on their goals. But at the end of the day, you want a different result than everybody else. You want to have that 10% body fat physique. You want to look extraordinary. You don't want to look like the guy next to you. Because truth be told, I was the same way. I didn't want to look like the guy next to me. All the other guys I saw, 15, 18, 20, 25% body fat. I demanded more of myself, right? I obsessed and I hyperfixated on the process because I demanded more of myself. I didn't want to just be the average guy. I don't want to look like everyone else, right? You know, I firmly believe that we were all given just one life, and, you know, we have every obligation to maximize the life that God has given us, right? And I feel like it's a disservice to do anything less than to put yourself in the best position possible, to get as lean as possible, to have the best physique possible, right? I don't want to just live my life at 25, 30% body fat, eating all the junk food in the world, all the cookies, Oreos, and chips that I could possibly imagine. No, I believe that I was put on this earth to be more. I believe that everyone was put on this earth to be something extraordinary. The chances of even being born is so small. So why not maximize every opportunity that God has given you to get the best physique possible? That's where this hyperfixation and obsession mindset comes from. I'm only 22, so I'm going to obsess and hyperfixate on this every single day. So by the time I'm 25, 30, I have one of the most insane physiques you've ever seen. And this is the mindset that it takes. You have to outwork yourself every single day. Become that best version of yourself. You have to hyperfixate, focus, dial in every part of your life. Because if you truly want to build something amazing, you can't go half in, half out. You have to obsess, you have to hyperfixate, and you have to go all in on your goal.